Hello students, welcome to this online course of engineering mechanics. So today we are going to learn about the method of section. In the previous lecture we have discussed the method of joints. So in this method what we are going to do, after determining the support reactions, a section line is drawn passing through not more than 3 members in which forces are not known. Okay, such that the frame is cut into two separate parts. So that we are going to see how we are going to do this. So we will be cutting the whole truss into two separate parts, and what we have to keep in mind that the section line which is dividing the frame into two parts should not pass, that line should not be cutting more than 3 members. The maximum members can be 3 in which the forces are not known. Let us say there are 4 members and in one member we know the forces. So we can cut those 4 members because the maximum number of members with the forces, unknown forces, should be 3. Each part should be in equilibrium under the action of loads, reactions and the forces in the members that are cut by the section line. So both the parts should be in equilibrium under the loads. Equilibrium of any one of these two parts is considered and the unknown forces in the members cut by the section line are determined. So what we are going to do, we are going to first cut the frame into two parts, and after that we are going to use the equilibrium equations for determining the forces in the members. The system of forces acting on either part of truss constitute a non-concurrent force system. Why? Because there are various members and all members are not passing to the same point. So that type of force system is called as non-concurrent. Since there are only 3 independent equations of equilibrium that we have studied already, there should be only 3 unknown forces, because we can only determine the 3 unknown forces. Why? Because we are having only 3 independent equations of equilibrium. Hence, in this method, it is essential requirement that the section line should pass through not more than 3 members. This is the reason why we have learned here that the maximum number of members which the section line is cutting should not be more than 3, for in which forces are not known, and it should separate the frame into two parts. So these are two major conditions. Under the following two situations, the method of section is preferred over method of joints. So what are the conditions why we are using the method of section? If we are having one method and it is self-sufficient, so why we need the second method? So let us see what are those conditions in which method of joints is not. So why we have developed the second method? Just because the first methods were not enough for every situation. So that's why we have developed a new method. So in the analysis of large truss in which forces in only few members are required. So a very large truss is there, and we need not to know the forces in all the members. We only want to calculate force in a few members. Then instead of using the method of joints, we will be using method of section. Why? Because the answer for this you will be getting when I am going to solve the problem. The second condition is if the method of joints fail to start or proceed with analysis for not getting a joint with only 2 unknown forces. So what was the condition in the method of joints? We were searching a joint for the analysis to start, which we were focusing on a joint in which only 2 members in which forces are not known should be there. So if we are not able to find such joint at which only 2 forces with unknown forces are there, then we have to use this method. So when the trusses are very large or the problems are very complex, that truss can be solved partly by method of joint and partly by method of section. So in the same problem also we can use both the methods. It is not like we will be using only single method. we are free to use any of the methods, either section, method of section, either method of joints, or both in a same situation. So let us solve one problem. Let us see what is the problem. So determine, this is the problem which we are going to solve. Determine the forces in the members. Determine the forces in the members. So what are the members? FH, HG and GI in the truss, sorry for that, in the truss shown. Each load is 10 kilonewton and all the triangles are equilateral with sides equal to 4. Sorry. So this is a problem. So let us see what is the truss which is given to us. The truss is looking something like this. So we are starting A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, this is K, this is M, this is O, this is N, and one more. This was K, this is L, this is M. So all are, I am having very limited space, so just assume that all the triangles are similar, which is very difficult to assume, but let us solve. Here the support is hinge, here the support is roller, this is O. What else it is stating? All these joints are having how much load? This is 10 kilonewton, 10 kilonewton, here 10 kilonewton, this is also 10 kilonewton, this is also 10 kilonewton, this is also 10 kilonewton, and this is also 10 kilonewton. So you can see the truss is very large. Okay, and what we are being asked, we have to calculate force in FH, HG and GI. So these members sorry. So what is the problem if we want to start with method of joints? What is the problem? Just let us try to analyze this. So if we are starting with method of joints, so no joints except this and this are having two members in which forces are unknown. That is fine, we can start the problem, but just for calculating the forces in these three members only, will it be feasible to start from here and to reach here? It is a very long process. It is very the process will become very cumbersome. So instead of starting from here and moving joint by joint till reaching this point, what we are going to do, we are going to cut this section. Okay, so let us say this is 1 1. Okay, so what we have done, we have cut this whole truss into two parts, and the section line is 1 1. So this is clear why we are using this. So please draw it so that you will be, it is easy to follow the problem. So due to symmetry, actually there is no horizontal force, there is no horizontal force, only vertical forces are there, and due to symmetry they will be equal. So total load is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So total load, so RA will be equal to RB will be equal to 70 kilonewton divided by 2, that is 35 kilonewton. So this is the first thing we have to do. We have to calculate the support reactions because there is no horizontal component. Now let us see how our section will look like. So we can use both sides, either we can use the left hand side or we can use the right hand sides. There is no restriction because both the section are in equilibrium, so we can use any of the section. So we have put the cut on the FG. So here it is A, B, C, D, E, this is F, okay, here it is F, this is G, and here is our section line, which is 1 1. Now let us show the loads. And here 35 kilonewton. Clear? So you can use the small tricks. So the trick here is you can directly, actually we have to, after cutting the section, let us just check whether out of those 3 members, if 2 members are passing through the same point, if the 2 member forces are concurrent. So what we can do, we can take moment about this point. Why we are doing so? Because if we are going to take the moment about this point, the moment due to these forces will be 0 because this line is passing through this same point, and the only unknown force, the moment due to this will come into picture. So our problem has become easy. In that equation, only one unknown will be there, and that will be force in the member F. So let us just try to see what is this point. This is FH, so we can directly get the force H. So let us take the moment about z-axis at point G, which will be 0 due to equilibrium. So for this will not come into picture. All the sides are how much? 4. So this is also 4. So this will be 2. But we want this not. We want the height. we want this distance. If it is, let us say, d, so let us see, clockwise is positive, anti-clockwise is negative. So this is, let us say, this force is acting like this, so this will produce clockwise moment. So F of FH into D, this is clockwise. Now this force is here and point is here, so this will be minus 10 into how much, 2. Clear? This is also minus, so 10 into, this is 2, this is 4, so this complete side is 4 and this distance is 2, so 4 plus 2. Similarly, this 10 will be 4 plus 4 plus 2. So these are giving anti-clockwise and this is also giving clockwise. So 35 into 4 plus 4 plus 4 is equal to 0. Okay, so how much is this D? This is 4 sine 60. Clear? Why? This is 60 degree, this is side 4, so sine 60 will be, if it is D, sine 60 is D by 4. This is D, this is 4, so D is 4 sine 60. So just put the value of D as 4 sine 60, you will be getting force FH is equal to this is coming out to be 69.28 kilo Newton. Okay, the flow direction is correct, we have assumed the correct direction. Clear? So one force we have got. Now what we have to do, second trick. First trick was to find the two forces which are passing through a same point. Now the trick is, these two members are horizontal. Okay, so if we are taking summation in the summation of all the forces in vertical direction, so what is going to happen? Only the vertical component of this force is coming into picture, so by this only one unknown will be there. So what we are going to get from this, so let us start from here. So this is 35 minus 10 minus 10 minus 10, so minus 10 plus 10 plus 10, and let us see, this is acting here, so this force is like this, so vertical component will be in the positive vertical direction, so F into G and cos 30. Clear? Why? Because this is totally 60, so this will be 30, so cos 60, 30 is equal to 0. So FGH is coming out to be 5.77 kilo Newton. Clear? So now out of 3 members we have calculated the force in 2 members, this member and this member, so only unknown force is this. So we are having only one independent equation. What is that? Forces in horizontal direction is equal to 0. So all the external loads and support reaction is in the vertical direction, so only the forces in the members, the horizontal component is going to come into picture. force in member FH plus force in member GI plus force in member GH cos 60 is equal to 0. So FH we have calculated already. This is 69.28 plus FGI. This we have to calculate. So the direction we have assumed is towards positive horizontal direction. GH we have calculated 5.77 cos 60 degree is equal to 0. So FGI is coming out to be minus 72.17 kilonewton. So the direction is towards left, not towards right. Clear? So in this way you can solve the problem very easily. So I hope this is clear to you. So you have to the 2-3 tricks you have to solve. If you are not able to solve, you are not understanding anything in the problem, just start by method of joint at any of the joint, either left of the section line or the right of the section line. So we have completed the truss. In truss we have seen the determinate truss, indeterminate truss, deficient, redundant. What was that formula? M is equal to 2J minus 3. If it is 0, truss is determinate. If it is greater than 0, it is indeterminate. And if it is less than 0, the truss is deficient. And we have seen the methods, method of joints, method of section. So truss problems are very easy. You have to just apply the equilibrium conditions and you will be able to solve the problems very easily. So we have completed 2 units. So in the next lecture we are going to start our next unit. So this is all for today. Thank you.